Coffee Table app, and you want to join in and talk, you need to go to either youtube.com on your Google Chrome, Safari, whatever you're using, or go on a desktop so that you can join in our comments, because you can write and say whatever you like and I can see what you're saying, but not on a mobile app. Can't add comments on a mobile app. So I'm going to trial using YouTube. I've also got Zoom, which is my favorite thing to use. I've been using it for years. Absolutely brilliant. It's like Skype, better. But I know that that's kind of different technology for some people. I'm actually doing a class on how to use Zoom for remote working and for staying in touch. And also I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives, but I know that limits it to anyone on Facebook. So we'll see what works. But for now, I'm here and I'm going to be here every day this week doing Coffee with Jazz. So cheers. So how's it going? I know it's a scary time. I know it's a frightening time. I know that people are worried. Check. Oh, that's the volume. That's why there's some button at the bottom, and I'm like, what does that do? But it's volume. Yes, it's a scary time. And here's the thing. I said this before, but if for those of us, right, those of you who have been through some form of trauma or adversity, abuse, abusive relationships, people close to you dying, losing someone. For those of you who've been through something like that, this is your time, okay? This is your time. Because what that does is it shows you how to sustain existence through chaos and trauma. And it is not something that everybody can do. And I often think about how I used to feel that actually being a human for me is hard, and like a regular human, just everything is fine, just being is hard. But actually, like dealing with trauma and disaster is something I know how to do. And I remember when I first married Ed, I remember feeling like trying to invent, like imagining, what if he leaves me? What if he dies? What if I die? What if the kids die? I mean, because I feel more at peace in chaos than I do in peace, which was directly from nurture and experience. And I think I have to be very intentional to kind of not freak out into what am I going to do? That's hard. But to not kind of, to look at stuff and not panic over it. But here's the thing, what can you actually control now? What is it that is within your control? That's the most important thing. What can you control? And when I've looked at this, it's a very small list. It comes down to basically how I show up. That's it. And I'm like, so I just moved the trolley and smiled at her. I said, it's hard, isn't it? But I'll move it for you. And just take your time. Because that's easier than going, it has more impact. Like Aldi have put up signs, right, which never work. I've got a thing about this. They never work. The signs, when imagine you walk into a shop and it says, anyone getting aggressive or physically assaulting our staff will be prosecuted. And you're like, well, I wasn't going to punch anyone in the face, but I kind of feel like it now. All this. We know that times are difficult right now and everyone's scared. And we want to thank our customers, every one of you, for treating the staff with the same care and courtesy that they treat you. Let's get through this together. That's your choice of sign, yeah? So psychologically, the sign that assumes you're going to get aggressive makes people who are already aggressive, right? People are already like, it's just going to make them feel worse. Because you've got them. You've taken the first blow. You've taken the first blow by going, yeah, if you do this, I'm going to prosecute you. It's like two guys in a fight outside a pub. One of them says, your mum this, your mum that, and you've started it. But if you say, hey, my expectation is that you will be considerate and calm, and that's how we're going to treat you because we value us and we know that we value you and we know that you value us. That is like manipulating people into kindness in the way that smiling at a stranger does. In the way that when I was at the till today, I offered the woman behind me, I put my stuff on the belt and I said to the woman, can I help you? Put your stuff on the belt. And she said, oh, no, don't worry. I'm like, I'm not worried. I'm just standing here doing nothing. I thought it'd be really great to help someone because I always wish someone would help me. And she's like, oh, go on then. So I put all this stuff on the belt and we got chatting. And while we were chatting, this complete stranger literally said to me, do you think we need to be scared? Complete stranger. Because people are frightened. And so rather than, slagging them off because they've left the trolley out or getting at people, is what can you do? And here's what I've been saying to people. If you need help, ask for help. If you need food or provision or shopping, if you need support, if you're scared and you just want to connect, that's what this is about. Reach out and ask for help. There's three core elements of resilience. Having responsibility, reaching out, knowing how to reframe. So reach out. People actually love to help, even though sometimes they can be idiots. People do like to help. And the second thing is, if you have provision and you don't need help, then look at who you can help. How can you help? I've got no answers to this. I'm not some sort of soothsayer, but I have got suggestions and questions, and I'm happy to think out loud. That's the sort of person I am. So I know it's with food in it, and how I've got cleaning stuff so it's clean, and how it's warm so I've got heating, and how there's light and power and internet, and how my kids are okay, and how none of us are ill. And I thought, God, I've got so much. I am swimming in like blessings right now. I've got so much. So what can I do to give? Because I don't want to. There's a great George Michael song, "Praying for Time." I'm still mourning George Michael's death, if I'm honest. I'm still struggling with it. Anyway, "Praying for Time." And in that song, he says, your television takes a stand and you find that what was over there is over here. So you scream from behind them. I'm thinking at the minute, what can we do to... I am a connector. Like, I love Giant Still. 5 Voices in particular is a really beautiful assessment. I'm going to put the link in here, actually. Let me do that now. Oops. www.giant.tv/jazz. Not typing. Oh. Okay. In the comments, there's a link. And if you click on that link, you can go to Giant TV, where you get to take the 5 Voices assessment. It's amazing in terms of really understanding what where your weaknesses and strengths are, all the little quirks that you thought, oh, I'm not normal. Suddenly you realize, I'm not alone. This is how people are. So, and it's really good for people who have to work together, teams, especially if you're working remotely, because it gives you a kind of a hack into other people's brains and the way people work, so that you can use that to connect more easily and be understood more deeply. And if you go onto that link, Giant 5 Voices, there's an assessment. Can I share my screen on here? See, this is why Zoom is better. I could do this on Zoom and share my screen. I don't know what will happen if I go off this screen to look for it. But if you go on the website, Giant TV, there's a little red circle in the bottom left. It's in the corner at the bottom, one of them. You click on that and it says assessments, go to assessments, and then it says 5 Voices assessment. And that will help you come up with your voice order. And the idea is that we are all 5 voices, but we have them in a different order. So, for example, one of the voices is nurturer, and that's quite a high proportion of people who are really into relational harmony and making sure people are okay. And I thought, yeah, I'm quite nurturing, but it's not my first voice. Connector is another one, which is my first voice, which is love connecting people with resources and each other and building communities. That's kind of where I am, that belonging and identity piece. Then there's guardian, someone who is super skilled at data and figures. That's my 5th voice. And I know that's a weakness for me. I can do it. Like, I am all 5 voices. I can do it. But I just struggle with the concentration. So I am in awe of people who can do that. And often, like in meetings, they're looked upon as the people who pour cold water on an idea. Like, I'm like, yeah, we can do this. We can have a big party. We can have it. And the guardian voice might go, yes, but do we have enough tables and chairs? And it feels like but they're not. That's how they serve people. That's how they're being practical. So awesome. I'm got a bit of a girl crush on guardians. And then there's creatives. This is my husband's first voice. Great ideas, great blue sky thinking, really kind of, able to vision the future. Not always clear in explaining it. So I sometimes call Ed NCN. He'll be telling a story and I'll go, NCN, darling, NCN, which is no clear narrative. So, like, he can't do jokes, because he just starts with the story and starts with a punchline and goes, no, that's not it. And then he talks a bit and he tells another. And it's just painful. It's just painful to try and work out. Sometimes he'll tell a story and I'll let him get to the end and I'll go, okay, no clear narrative. So just give me the top lines. Like, when we used to watch Boston Legal together. This is like pre-TV on demand. So we had to tune in every week at the right time. Love Boston Legal. Love William Shatner. So James Spader. Absolutely amazing. So we're watching the show. One week, I missed the show, and Ed says, don't worry, darling, I've got you covered. I'll tell you all about it. I'm like, oh, can you tell me the story of it? I love how the story unfolds, because it's a really tight structure. They start off with a problem. They work through the problem. It looks like they're really mean, greedy lawyers, but then they suddenly find a heart. And then at the end, Denny Crane, James Spader are sat on the balcony outside with a cigar and some whiskey, and they kind of wrap up the series. So it's a really clear structure. And I missed one of a really good episode, and so Ed tried to fill me in. we never got divorced. I mean, it was just like, just tell me what happened first. Stop skitting around. What's the first thing that happened? Then what happened? But what, you're missing it out, babe. You're like that. How do you do that? Help me do that. But your order of voices is quite unique. So I'm Connected Creative Pioneer, especially that first 3. And what am I like when I'm stressed? What does extreme stress do to me? What, how can I maximize my happiness? I mean, it's brilliant. All these great videos. So go on there and have a look. It's really good. So coffee break is almost over. I'm actually going to finish this in 2 minutes and then go and do it on Facebook Live as well, so that people who are on there can join in. But I am going to be here every day, just chatting. And luckily for me, I don't mind chatting to myself because this for me is like energy giving. I working together, going for lunch, and then I would like, oh guys, I'm head down, half an hour plugged in, just like if you need me, send me an email, and I get on with that. So now since I was not surrounded by people, like when I left school, when I wasn't in that community anymore for teaching, and also then I worked in the city, which was the best, so for a connector, oh, it's heaven, the best social setting. So I worked for a great company. I worked in the city. I was out all the time. It's fantastic. Then when I started working from home, it kind of all stops, and you have to work out, how do I keep myself going? How do I keep myself in a place where I'm still productive? So yeah, that's what this is about. So thank you for joining me, either live or later. And I'm going over to Facebook now. So you've got a Facebook account. Jump over there, join me. Cocktails with Jazz will be later on. I don't know what time I'm going to do that. Let me look at my diary. It's the same thing. I'm just going to chat. I think I'm going to do Cocktails with Jazz over Zoom. That I'm looking at what am I doing? I'm looking at my diary like I've got anything planned. It's just for the next 3 months. I've got nothing because all my events have been taken away. So it's completely open. But my kids are around in the evening. So let me see. And 5:30 is kind of tea time for me. You know when is a good time for me? 8:30. Hey, Gina, how you doing? Booze during daylight. Mr. BJD. Cocktails for me are vegetarian mojitos. Vegetarian? Virgin. Not vegetarian. Begins with V, not no alcohol. Virgin mojitos. Virgin mojitos, love. I've got my mug now. I'm gonna get a cocktail glass for tonight. It's gonna be 8:30. 8:30 on Zoom. If you're on any of my social media, I will put a link to my Zoom room, which I can have 100 people in. So there should be plenty of space. But yeah, anyone who wants to come can come, and I'll see you there. Cheers. And this is vanilla rooibos. Coffee. I don't drink coffee. Vanilla rooibos. Absolutely, Gmar. Always good to chat. Come join me on Facebook. I'm trying out all the platforms, see which one works best. See you there.